Guys, good morning. So I did a silly little video last night, sitting in the garden at 1 a.m. just having a snack, chilling out, relaxing, and it was lovely. It's one of the most beautiful nights and it was the perfect temperature, but I kind of did a comment of, oh, I should do a video in the morning showing what's actually in my garden, considering you couldn't really see it. So I thought I'd give you a little tour. So I just did some fall planting of some fall crops. So that's what this one is. There's peas in that one, there's okra and hot peppers. The hot peppers are kind of a little experiment to see if they'll actually give me something by the end, before the frost. Or I might be able to bring them inside like I did the tomatoes last year. There's broccoli in one there, and then there's zucchini, because my poor zucchini plants are here. And then Swiss chard. So those are, I planted yesterday, so they're not quite germinating yet. But here we have one zucchini plant. It's kind of getting some of the powdery mildew, and I've been fighting it, but seem to be losing the battle, which is why I kind of planted 2 new zucchini plants. The funny thing is, I have so many zucchini plants because I actually had an old pack. It had gotten wet, and I think they were really old. So I was like, oh, what the heck? Let's see how many of these. I was expecting maybe 1 or 2 to germinate. No, they all germinated, so I had to separate them out of a pot. But there's one zucchini plant. Here I just did some plantings yesterday of radishes. Radishes actually are better in the cool weather because in the hot weather they get really, really spicy. I like the spicy, but my significant other wizard does not, and my mom does not as much. So here I just took out some carrots and radishes here. This is going to become not zucchini. Goodness gracious, I can't speak today. This is going to become lettuce, because lettuce is also good in the fall. In the summer with the heat, it tends to bolt quickly. Here I've got green beans, and I thought they were all done, but I guess I say that and they heard them, and so they're now producing again. So once I get to it, I'll pull some of them. Right now they're cover crops, and of course I have this wonderful golden tomato, cherry tomatoes. This was a Home Depot special. This is what it is. This has been producing some of the most wonderfully flavored little cherry tomatoes. And cherry tomatoes are really my favorite because I think they have the most flavor. But if you go to Home Depot and you can get this variety, they do fantastically in pots. I mean, look at this. I should have trellised it, but you know, I didn't because they're up high. But that one I highly recommend. So another tomato, cherry tomatoes. This is supposed to be a red one, but it kind of gives orange. So being next to the yellow, I don't know. We'll see. This here is my summer squash, crookneck squash, and see, it's got a little one going. I had to bring this up onto, there we go. I had to bring it up on stakes because it decided it wanted to flop over, and it was really close to hitting the ground. There's the little statue I showed last night. He's kissed me. Yeah. So this one, this arrangement, I bought this plant and it was discounted because it was half dead and there was like 2 little pathetic flowers on there, and the fact that it's exploding now, it makes me very happy. And while the pansies are not perennial, this one is. I can plant this in the actual garden next year. So there's another little statue. I got her. Actually, there's a funny story with her. I might make a video later to end up fishy. And this right here is actually 2 tomato plants that I should have trellised them. I didn't. And the way tomatoes, I learned this actually the last couple of weeks. The way tomatoes naturally grow is actually along the ground like a watermelon or a squash plant. They actually naturally grow along, and you can kind of see, I need to prune it pretty badly, but all the little hairs that are on the tomato plant that come off the side are actually starter roots, because the way that tomatoes naturally grow is along the ground, and wherever it touches the ground, it puts out more roots. So that's the reason why the plants don't have the strength to stand up once it gets to a certain size. It didn't actually develop, or wasn't actually, depending on your faith, designed like that. And we kind of go against nature sometimes when we're gardening, but bottom one's not ready, but the top one is. A little bit of blossom end rot. I've been fighting that all summer, giving it calcium, but cut out the good parts. That's gonna be tomato sandwich breakfast with a little bacon and some avocado. Yeah. Though I love to cook. So yeah, that's the reason why plants don't have the strength to stand up with the fruit on it, because they really are supposed to grow like squash and like watermelon and cucumbers and stuff like that. That's why you generally trellis those, is because they just supposed to run along the ground. But they get really sick if they are all along the ground. So another zucchini, 2 zucchini plants. Yeah, the powdery mildew, I've been fighting that. And actually I'm getting a lot of good zucchini, and zucchini do fantastically in pots. Like that's a nice sized, that's gonna become dinner actually. And got 1 more and 2 more, 3, 4 more. So this one's not giving up. Yeah, this makes me happy. I'll see if I can spray this with I do everything as organically as possible, and I've got an organic copper spray that seems to be helping the ones that are just getting it. So I'll have to spray that one. This is flowers that I planted on a whim. Some of these are just whim plants. I wanted some color, so I planted some. They're supposed to be flowers, but I don't know if they're gonna make it. to the flower stage because I planted them pretty late. Also flowers. Also flowers, and I've got more. These are really great little trellises. I ordered another set on Amazon so I can build it up a little bit more. So yeah, other side of the tomatoes. So more flowers there. These are beans. I actually pulled these beans out of the raised bed because they were falling on top of the my bush beans got so big that they fell on top of the carrots and the radishes, so I pulled them out. I didn't think they'd survive because I don't think beans generally tend to like to be transplanted, but they're going pretty good. I'm letting them this set dry out for the seeds because I'm gonna start saving seeds soon. Let's see. This is the other side of the raised bed. This is thyme, which, like the carrots and the things, these just, yeah, I probably should have staked them, but whatever. They're gonna get pulled. I'm gonna get as much out of them as I can until I'm ready to pull them and plant. Because what I'll do is I'll pull one row. I'll plant lettuce seeds and kale, and then once I get two planted to where these are, I'll pull them. But these are also flowers that I got a little overzealous. I don't think they're going to get any bigger, so that might actually become a different herb. I don't know, I'll decide. Okay, and the other side. I love this raised bed. This was a thing I got from my brother Tim because he was moving to Indiana, and didn't want to take it with him, so it became mine. That's how I get a lot of my stuff. I don't want this anymore. Sarah, do you want this? Yeah. So, other side. And so with the flowers that I planted, I kind of planted them and didn't mark them. So I'm not entirely sure what these are gonna be or if they'll be, but they're pretty and they make me happy. Whole thing of pansies. This is a peach tree that I need to pot because it was a gift from a friend, and I don't have the fertilizer to put in the hole yet, so, but that'll be planted in the backyard. That's more crabapple. I'll separate that. My hardy hibiscus that I need to start pulling off the flowers because they opened a couple days ago and now they're kind of running their course, but the huge flowers, but they are pretty. And then this was the pot that I planted those zucchini seeds in, and yeah, I was expecting one or two to germinate. All of my zucchini plants came from this pot originally because, as I said, the seeds were really old. The packet had gotten wet several times and I wasn't expecting them to germinate, so I'm like, oh, what the heck, I'll just do a few. I'll do like a lot of them, and well, yeah, you can see the result. So, and then a tree we planted when we moved in 30 years ago, and those back there are crabapple trees, and friends are gonna come over and we're gonna harvest some of those. And back there is my garden of, well, not mine technically, but my parents also did. And we're getting rid of those vines because while they are beautiful, the Japanese beetles absolutely love them and they're so close to our roses and our blackberries that the beetles have now discovered them. So we're kind of pulling the vines out, and we clip down the roses and the blackberries. That's my wonderful parents back there doing yard work. But yeah, that's my garden tour, and it makes me happy. So if anybody has any good ideas for the mildew, the powdery mildew that's loving, and I really don't like chemicals. I like to be as organic as possible because I tend to come out here and snack sometimes, like the cherry tomatoes. Like there's a few on here that are almost ready, and a garden visitor. I don't actually mind them in the garden. They are pollinators. They're not as good as bees, but they also tend to chase off some other bad pests. And they haven't been as aggressive. They haven't been very aggressive, so I'm kind of leaving them be. I have traps out, but yeah, it's the Japanese beetles that I'm having a war with. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys later. And if you've watched to the end, I thank you, because I'm a little long-winded. Bye.